Welcome back to the War Corgi YouTube channel. Today we have the Sisters of Battle going up against Simon's Necron forces, which have been featured on the channel before as well. Have the Necrons ever played the Sisters?
Not yet.
Not yet.
This is like the first time.
Well, the first time was Sanctuary 101, which was when the Imperium first met up with the Necrons.
Yes, and
still know.
And the Necrons did what they did always do.
And we will never forget. So 1,850 points of Sisters. Simon, this time I went with a more mech heavy force. Of course, we're in the beta Codex, so GW's asked us for our opinions, so I'm trying out some different lists. A little bit more mech heavy. We have 2 battalions here before us today. I'm going to start on the right. That's going to be the more aggressive. They are the Order of the Bloody Rose, which if you recall, they have the +1 strength and +1 attack whenever they get charged. Charge or heroically intervene. Exactly. So they can be pretty good. And over here we have a Canoness. She has her Blade of Admonition, which is a relic, and a Inferno Pistol. The priest next to her has the Book of St. Lucius, which expands his aura range by 3 inches. So everyone within 9 inches of him will be getting +1 attack. Zealot, but +1 attack. And they also have the special rule where if anybody runs away on a 4-up, they don't run away. Any Astra Militarum, not Astra Militarum, Astra Ministorum.
Yes.
Ministorum gets that. Okay, so I got 3 troop choices. The first one up here is a unit of 5 girls. They have 3 Stormbolters. And we have 2 units of 9 girls. The Sister Superior is armed with a chain sword and plasma pistol. Over here on the left, you can see I have a Midgefire, but not on the right. And each of the squads has a Flamer and a Melta Gun. And transporting these 3 squads are going to be the 2 Rhinos on the outside here, and then the Immolator in the center. And it has the Flamers up on top.
Okay.
We got 2 Penitent Engines.
Yes.
And we got 2 squads of 9 Seraphim now. The Sister Superior there has Plasma Pistol and then Power Sword. And then we have 2 girls in each squad with the Infernus pistols that we both love so much.
Yes.
Okay, so that is the first battalion there. The second battalion over here on your side is going to be the Order of the Sacred Rose.
Okay.
Now they get to Overwatch on a 5 or 6, irrespective of modifiers, and they can only ever lose 1 to a failed morale test.
That's quite awesome.
It is quite good. I mean, this is going to be my fire base. As you can see, it's anchored by 3 Exorcists.
Yes, and in the last battle report, as you guys remember, the one, it was 1 actually.
It was 1.
And he already caused a lot of trouble to me.
Yeah, so now you're going to take on 3 times as many. So supporting them, we have another Canoness, no artifacts, but she has a Combi Flamer and a Power Sword. And then we have another Ministorum Priest over there with his Last Pistol and Chainsword, so that's the headquarters unit. And then we got 3 more troop choices. This time, the unit up front, they have the 3 Stormbolters with 4 regular girls supporting them for a total of 7.
Okay.
And then 2 squads of 10. The Sister Superior have a Power Weapon, Power Sword, Bolter, and Bolt Pistol. And then each squad has a Midgefire and a Heavy Bolter.
Okay.
So altogether, I start with 13 command points. Since I run 2 relics, I'm down to 12, and a total of 70 girls on the dot will give me 7 faith points plus 3 for being Battle Forged.
So you have 10 faith points.
Yeah. Now 10 faith points isn't bad. I will say the big increase that I get by running 2 battalions for the command points is really going to pay off, because as we saw in the last game, faith is okay and it's nice. It's a nice little bonus, but it's really about some of the stratagems the sisters can get. And that's what I'm excited about right now, having those 12 command points to play with.
So, well, with the 12 command points, you can actually also make a synergy with the active 5 points plus the strategy games, which will probably have a much more impact than the last game.
Yep, I'm hoping so, because I think I'm in for a tough fight. I don't know what you brought yet, but I'm anxious to see. So let's take a look at that next. 1,850 points of Necrons?
Not completely, 845, so I couldn't...
Advantage Sisters.
Yes. So okay, I just have 1 battalion, so it puts me up to 8 command points. I'm playing Mefrit. For everyone who doesn't know what they do, When you come into half of your rapid fire or half of your range of your weapons, you get an additional to your AP. So Gauss Slayers getting from AP 1 to AP -2, and Gauss Blasters to AP -3 then. Tesla weapons get also an AP on that one if they are in the half range of their weapons. So it's quite handy.
That works on infantry, on vehicles, on everything?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Just not on the Wraiths obviously, but on everything else it works.
Okay.
As a HQ choice, I have 3 of them today. I have Catacomb Command Barge. He's my warlord. He has I give him the relic the voltaic staff, and he has the warlord trait Merciless Tyrant, which means he can he gets a plus, I think, 6" on the assault weapons, plus he can target characters.
Okay.
So he's a sniper, literally. And he also has a resurrection orb. Then on that side I have an overlord on foot. He has also a resurrection orb plus a void scythe. And here I have a Cryptek with the Canoptech cloak. So he's flying, and guys with the living metal ability regain not just 1 wound, just D3 wounds when he's nearby range of them.
So when you say guys, that also includes vehicles because they have living metal?
Everything what has a living metal special rule.
Okay.
Okay, so as a troop choices, I have an 80-man blob of Necrons. Then I have 210 squads of Immortals. I have the proxy bit. This squad, which is more painted, is the squad with the Tesla carabines. And these guys have just a simple plain Gauss Blasters. Then as a fast attack choice, I have 2 of them. I took Tomb Blades. I also proxy them today. I tried today not the Gauss Blasters on them. I'm trying today the Tesla carabines. So they have twin Tesla carabines. They have shield veins, which means they have a 3+ armor save, and they have the Shadow Loom, which gives them a 5+ invulnerable save.
Okay.
So
how many moves do they have each?
2.
2. Okay.
2. Yeah.
Very interesting.
And obviously, unfortunately, I had to borrow from Michael's wife, Rafe, because on the transport it just got, an accident. And I have 3 Wraiths, barebone, nothing special on them. Wraiths do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So, additional, I have a Ghost Orc as a support unit. There will be nothing inside. The Ghost Orcs will do what they do, repairing. Then I have a Doomsday Arc with the infamous Doomsday Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the Terrasarc Arc with these 2 things. Unfortunately, you just get these two things as from the Forge kit. So I'm playing them as Gauss cannons, not as Tesla carabines.
Does this one have quantum shielding as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I could not remember.
This one should have quantum shielding, but and obviously I have a Night Shroud bomber.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Today with me, but he doesn't have the quantum shielding, so it's more better for you. And yeah, so that's my 845 points. As you can see, guys, I'm going for attrition and for a little bit sneaking around with the Wraiths and with the Tomb Blades.
We should mention very quickly about what Chapter approved. You had some significant point drops across the army, so this is a much bigger Necron force than you were able to bring 6 weeks ago.
Yes, we will see how this turns out today, but before Chapter approved, it was really hard to squeeze a formidable force. I think there's still the Necron bracket thing, because we everyone know that the Necrons are this edition not as powerful how they have been in the 7th edition. But we will see how they do today. So
it should be a good matchup against Sisters, which by all accounts has been a pretty solid beta codex so far. It's been doing pretty well. So I'm anxious to get them on the table. We're going to play ITC mission number 5. So when we come back, we're going to go over all that good stuff. See you in a bit.
Launcher, visibility.
Alright, tonight we're playing ITC mission number 5, which is Precious Cargo. So there are 4 objectives on the board. 1, 2, 3, and 4 after the deployment type and sides were set up, and this is battle lines. Simon rolled for that and picked the far side. He was able to move his objective 6 inches back towards him. So 3 is his Precious Cargo, while 4 is my Precious Cargo, moved it back towards me. After that, going over terrain real quick. All the buildings are impassable. We play the Sky Shield landing pad is ruins here. The river provides -2 to charge distances, anybody going over it. And that forms a barricade on the bridge. And obviously some line of sight blocking terrain. Some craters there which provide cover for infantry and also -2 to charge through. Okay, so with that, secondaries that were picked, I have picked Recon to have a unit in each quarter at the end of my turn. Big Game Hunter. Simon has plenty of targets there, as you know well. And then also behind enemy lines, which is a tough one because I have to have a unit behind the enemy lines at the start of my turn, Simon, so it will be difficult to get. You'll have a chance to react. For Simon's part, he has picked Big Game Hunter. He has marked 4 units for death. It's going to be the 2 Exorcists there and the 2 Seraphim units that are off the board currently. And then he's also picked Headhunter for my 4 characters. Last thing I want to mention before we go over deployment, my Warlord trait I failed to mention is Indomitable Belief. That's my Warlord down there. So everyone within 6 inches of her has a +1 to their Shield of Faith rolls. So essentially a 5-up invul save. Simon, you want to start off over on your side?
Okay, I essentially filled up my Necrons as a British Red Coat army style. Infantry massed in the front, big guns behind. So here we have the Warriors supported here by the Cryptek, Gauss Blaster, Immortals, Tesla, Immortals. In the back we have here the Terrasect Arc, Ghost Arc, and the Catacomb Command Board with my Warlord. Over here I have also the other Overlord, and here on my left flank, the Nitrile Bomber, Tomb Blades, Doomsday Cannon, and the Wraiths.
Okay, for my part, I have my Firebase over here on the left, so that's where my 3 Exorcists are, next to the Warlord, getting her reroll 1 aura and the Invulsive aura. Penitent Engine holding down the left flank. 2 units of Sisters from the Sacred Rose, and a 3rd unit of Sisters with the Stormbolters there from Sacred Rose. Over on the right is the Bloody Rose, so we have 2 Rhinos, each with 9 Sisters in there. On the left we have the 2nd Canoness. And then we have the priest there on the right with the Book of St. Lucius. They're supported by 1 Penitent Engine. And then on the far right we have the 5-girl squad who has the 3 Stormbolters as well, along with the priest. Inside the Immolator, 2 units of Seraphim are currently off the board. Simon finished deploying slightly before me, so he's going to get a +1 to the roll to see who goes first. Simon?
Let's go. I'll have a 3.
3. I have rolled a 2. So Simon, your choice. It's always more difficult in the ITC format.
I'll give you to react. You go first.
I go first. Okay. Would you like to play the stratagem which allows you +1 save as if you were in cover?
Exactly, that's what I want to do.
Okay, that's a clever play. Alright, so we're going to be back with Sisters of Battle, turn 1, next. The Sisters are holding the right flank with the Immolator, and I've moved the Penitent Engine over to get some line of sight blocking terrain. It's better than nothing. While these 2 vehicles have moved out at 12 inches, they are also popping their smoke, Simon, rather than shooting. These Sisters and 3 Exorcists have remained in place, while this unit of Sisters has nudged up a little bit, taking a look at the Necrons Warriors over there, while this Penitent Engine advanced 4 inches. So it was pretty quick, and we'll move straight into skipping through the psychic phase, and then into the shooting phase for the Sisters. Lackluster turn 1 shooting for the Sisters. The best unit was this unit, who managed to take down 2 Necron warriors with the heavy bolters. Simon managed to make 3 saves against the regular bolters. And then the 3 exorcists opened up and did not roll very well on either hits or wounds. So I managed to take 2 wounds off of Simon's arc.
Tesseract Arc, yes.
Tesseract Arc. He did play Quantum Shielding on it. Not Quantum Shielding, but Quantum Deflection for 1 command point. So he's down to 5. Only took 2 wounds off of him. Only did 1 wound and rolled a 2, and he didn't save it. And then the other 2 exorcists opened up at the Ghost Arc and did a combined 1 wound to it. Same problem. Just wasn't hitting, wasn't wounding. So not much love for the sisters. They do, however, gain a point because they control at least 1 objective right now. So Simon, on to you, turn 1.
Let's go, man. So we are starting with the turn with reanimation protocols. So the Ghost Arc is now full back. The Tesseract Arc is by 9 now. And now we have to roll reanimation protocols, but we have the Cryptic 3 inches of him, so it's force up. I get none back.
All right. So mostly like my shooting phase didn't happen.
But still at the end I can repair it with the Ghost Arc.
That's true, at the end of the movement phase. So we'll be back after your movement phase.
So guys, Necrons turn 1 movement. As you already saw, I couldn't resurrect at the beginning of the reanimation protocols Necrons, and at the end of my movement I also couldn't resurrect any more Necron warriors with that ability of the Ghost Arc. By far, I just slightly moved up a little bit towards Michael's line. Tesseract Arc and Doomsday Arc stay put. Left flank, Wraiths and Tomb Blades are putting a little bit more aggressiveness on that one. And I put my will be done on the Tesla warriors and on the Ghost Blaster warriors.
Okay, and then the big thing.
And the big thing, my Night Shroud flew over this squad of sisters, throwing 10 bombs on them, killing 6 of them.
All right, so now no psychic phase for you either.
Exactly.
So we go straight into your shooting phase.
Yeah, exactly.
1.
Yeah, Michael's a good friend. He wants to keep me as a friend, so I appreciate that a lot.
You know what? A lot of people say that after our post game has gotten a little bit tense between us, but we have a lot of fun.
Yes.
Mostly because I'm nice to him. All right.
Me too. Okay, so the shooting phase was quite, I would say quite successful. Shooting Tesla Carabines couldn't kill. I think they killed just 1.
Didn't kill any. I made 4 saves with them.
Yeah, and then the Ghost Arc with the flares, I think took 1 more.
Managed to kill 2 of them.
Okay, even 2.
Yeah.
Warriors were shooting at this Pendant Engine, taking off I think 2 wounds.
1 wound.
1 wound. Whole combined firepower, Gauss and Tesla stripped away almost I think 6 wounds, and then the Gauss cannon off this one for additional 2.
Yeah, so all that combined firepower took off 4 wounds, and then the Gauss cannon an additional 2.
So this guy was also shooting. My warlord of that one with the voltaic stuff didn't do anything.
No.
So now comes the big part. Tesseract Arc. 5 hits, 5 shots, 4 hits. AP -4, you didn't save any of them.
No, I had the 5 up invul save going, and didn't save any of them.
And damage was like 15, 16 something, so it was instantly killed.
Yes.
1 exorcist, so we are now even on heavy weapons.
Thankfully did not blow up.
Yeah, I was hoping for that one actually, that he blows up here in the center. That would be great.
A little nervous. Okay.
And then the Gauss cannon, I had 4 rolls, 4 shots, hit I think just the once.
No, you hit 4 times, only wounded once with that strength 10 gun.
Exactly, it's hitting wounding on freeze, yeah. So and stripped away just 2 wounds. I take that one on that exorcist, and yeah. So these guys are shooting at this pendant engine. I think 1 wound or 2 wounds. I stripped.
2 wounds. 2 wounds on him.
Yeah. So that was everything for now. For points,
Before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and use an Act of Faith over here. I need a 2 up in order to save them from taking a morale test. The 2 up because I have the simulacrum. I have rolled a 2, so that passes the Act of Faith. They do not have to take a morale test, they automatically pass. So now points.
I contest 2 objective, like you do.
Yes.
So there's no additional points. I got marked for death over there.
Yep.
And because I killed more units than you do, I get the extra point for that one.
So it's 4-1 going in the top of turn 2. Stay tuned. Sister started out round 2 by playing Spirit of the Martyr. Normally it goes off on a 3+, but because I have the Simulacrum Imperialis there, it went off on a 2, and I brought back a Heavy Bolter. After that, as far as movement, I disembarked both squads, the Priest and the Canoness here, moving 9 inches, so getting right up in the grill of those Necron Immortals, and then my Rhino also moved up there. This hurt Rhino moved at 6 inches, back behind this canister, while I moved the full 7 inches with the Penitent Engine. Back here, everything has remained in place. I'm pretty comfortable with what's going on there, and I had a moment to think over on my right flank whether or not to bring out the Stormbolter squad or not. I have decided to leave everything in place right there and see where the chips fall. Speaking of leaving in place, the Seraphim remain in place as well. I've done enough to get my recon points, so didn't feel the need to bring them in yet. I want to get rid of some of this chaff before I do, because the AP -2 on all these blasters is scary. All right.
AP -3 because of 12 inches Maverick trait.
Yeah, I was thinking just the warriors alone or the vehicles with all the Gauss blasters, is it?
This Gauss Flares.
Gauss Flares,
Gauss Blaster Tesla.
It's just all crazy. So we're keeping them off for just a little bit longer, see if we can destroy some things before we bring them on. All right, turn 2, shooting for the Sisters. Started here with an Act of Faith, and that is Divine Guidance. It failed to go off. I needed a 3 with a Simulacrum there. And that kind of set the tone. So opened fire with the Melta, Plasma Gun, and Flamer, along with that full squad there, and the Combi Bolter there, and only managed to kill 3 of those Necron Immortals. The rest of the bolters from this squad shot over at the bikes, doing 1 wound, which Simon saved.
That's why they called them mortals.
Yep. This Combi Bolter also fired, needing Forza hit. He missed both times. Over on this side, essentially, I put that Heavy Bolter into that squad down there, but didn't do anything. And then everything else here went into Simon's Flyer. That included Blessed Bolts for the Stormbolter squad here, thinking that was going to help me. In the end, I only did 3 points of damage to it, and so it is barely scratched, unfortunately. Exorcist managed to do 0 wounds on the Tesseract Vault. So this was not what we needed.
It was quite interesting because I played Quantum Deflection and you rolled a 6, 4 and a 3 for damage, and the 6 was automatically negated, and then I rolled a 3 and a 2 respectively, so all the damage he possibly could have made to him was just ignored.
Yeah, and that was, I rolled a 6 for this one as far as number of shots and 4 there. I should have done more damage, but I ended up doing no damage. Didn't fire with this guy because it's a 7-inch charge right now he's going to try to make. And that was it. So, with that, we'll be back after the shooting phase. No, shooting phase is done. It just feels like it wasn't done.
Yes.
We're going to be back after the charge and fight phase. Okay, Sisters, turn 2 charge phase. Rhino failed the 5-inch charge into the Necrons, which hurt me bad. I did not use a command point reroll because I would need that later in the charge phase. But meant that the squad of front-leaning Sisters had to charge into the squad on the right, and Simon rolled well, killing 4 of them as they charged in. That would have been avoided had the Rhino done its job. After that, I made a nice 11-inch charge with the other squad of Sisters, but failed by 1 inch for both the Priest's charge and the Canoness's charge. But they were within 9 inches, using the Book of St. Lucius to get the extra attack bonus, so it wasn't all for naught. Over on the left, it was a 7-inch charge. I started off by rolling a 5. I re-rolled using one of my command points and then made an 8-inch charge, so I did get into Simon's Necron. So Activating over here first with the large squad of sisters, I managed to kill an additional 3 Necrons. That was, each sister doing 3 attacks with strength 4. They were not able to reroll ones because the canonist was a little bit too far. And then the second squad managed to hit. I did consolidate 2 of them into pile in 2 of them into that unit on the left to prevent them from shooting, which opened them up. They couldn't attack, so I only got 3 sisters into this attack, killing no Necrons. Over on the left, the Penitent Engine ended up killing 6 warriors, which was pretty good. I was pretty happy with that. And then it was Simon's turn to swing back. The warriors did 2 points of damage back to the Penitent Engine, which was very good for Simon. Over here, Necrons all swung at that squad of 5 remaining sisters, but they made their armor saves each time, so that was good for me. So now, morale test. The first thing I'll be doing will be spending a faith point to try to not have to take morale tests with that unit that's lost 4. That goes off on a 2 with the Simulacrum Imperialis. That's a 5, so they automatically pass that, Simon. That's going to be my 7th point of faith spent. So now your turn, buddy.
So you killed in both squads 2, yes? 6.
6, yes.
Okay, so I will use here 2 CP.
Okay.
Because they're more worth. This I have to roll, but so it's a 4 I have to roll because they're leadership 10.
Sure.
But I can still reroll that one. Okay. Give me a 4 or less. Which I do.
Okay.
So they pass the morale. So it will be nice to resurrect them again.
Yeah, you are down to 2 command points, which is about the only good news the sister have going for them right now. Once again, failed to kill a unit, didn't I? Oh god, this is just miserable. I do hold at least 1 objective, so I'll get 1 point for that. And I do have a recon at this point with units in each of the table quarters. So with that, it is going to be 4 to 3, going to your turn 2, buddy.
Okay.
So at the start, turn 2 for Simon, he's going to show us where his will be done, and then his reanimation protocol.
Okay, I put my will be done again here on these guys and these guys.
Okay.
So I'll start over here resurrecting on a 5 up. So I have 6. For a lot. Oh god.
Just one of them games.
I was thinking about popping the resurrection on.
I think you rolled too many dice there, buddy, because you got 2
Okay.
fails. So just take 4. I would say 4 pass.
Okay.
You good with that?
Yeah, good with that.
Okay. Because I think you picked up one that will be done.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so 4 pass. Out of 6. That's a 66% success rate, ladies and gentlemen. And then
This is tabletop tactics, man. Mathematics, sorry.
mathematics. We're our own brand. Much less popular, much less refined.
Okay.
All right, now 6, you got a total 8 over here to resurrect on your right.
Wait. I think for 2, no, I don't pop that one. Okay. I'm going over here.
Yep.
Here's on a 4+ because of that guy.
Yep, 8 chances.
8 chances this time. 6, 7, 8. Give me some force. So.
Not quite as good.
Not quite as good. I have here.
Half of them.
Half of a miss.
All right, we'll take that. Okay, so Simon's going to do his movement phase, and then we'll be back after that. Everyone knows the secret of killing Necrons is to destroy the units. We're failing miserably at that. We've played 2 turns, destroyed no units.
1. Okay, guys. Movement done by the Necrons in turn 2. I used adaptive sub-routines so that I can advance and charge with my race. Unfortunately, I rolled a 1 and I have just 1 command point, and I didn't want to reroll that to throw away all I have. I need it still for some other things. So they advanced 13 inches until up here. The Necron Lord over here gave my will be done to them and moved up here that he can charge in next round. They stay put. The barge just swept over here. Cryptid went here, and they fall back out of combat. Flyer is over there, And my Toon Blades are on that building and looking at this penitent engine.
Okay, Penitent Engine is looking back at them. So right through the psychic phase and into the shooting phase next.
So guys, this was Necron Turn 2 shooting. Almost the whole combined firepower, the Tesla cannon of that one, the solar staff, and the Tesla destructors, and the Ghost Arc. I think they just managed to strip off, 3 wounds.
2 wounds.
2 wounds.
The last one came from the
Tesla guy.
I had to use a command point reroll in order to make the armor save.
Yes. And then let's go over here. With his voltaic staff, because of Merciless Tyrant, he was targeting the Canoness, making 1 mortal wound and 2 on a D3 roll. So she's down to 2. That guy had just 1 shot, and I think you saved that one over there. No scratches. But that Doomsday Arc was going crazy, making 6 shots. I think 5 hits, 5 wounds, and then it just exploded.
Yeah, the 5-up invul save's overrated. I haven't made them yet.
Yes. So, and Toon Blades were shooting a little bit at the Penitent Engine.
Yep. Took out 3 wounds.
Yeah. So he's down to 2. He's down to 1. The Gauss cannon was off. This guy was shooting at this one, but didn't do anything.
Yep.
So yeah, that was the shooting.
Okay.
And now we go on to
charge and fight.
Charge and fight. So guys, the charge phase is done. The Wraiths managed to get a charge over here, barely for 5. 3 attacks were swinging into the Canoness, all hitting, all wounding. But then you made, all saves.
With a command reroll, I did. So I am down to 6 command points. I'm making a lot of command rerolls for armor saves, which is unusual, but it's been paying off. And 6 attacks were going to the priest. There was a little bit miserable rolling, and then he also saved, out of 3 wounds too. Yeah, 3 out of 4, I think. No, something like that. Yeah, and then they both swung back and killed a Wraith. Hooray! So Overlord charged in. I think he killed just 1 girl over there. Yes, he did. Yes, so that's everything. I made a 6-up Shield of Faith roll. Mm-hmm. Immortals managed, 1. One additional one. One additional one. And here also the Immortals were killing 1. In return, you just killed here Immortal, and here everything stayed the way it was. So, yeah. It's a tight game, but not really, because Simon scored 4 points this turn. We both control 2 objectives. His Toon Blades are a little bit too high up to be controlling that at 3 inches. But he has killed a unit, which means he's killed more units. So the score is now 8-3 favor Simon going into the Sisters turn 3. I feel like I got a little bit of life in me after that turn, so we're going to see if we can turn this to our advantage. All right, Sisters coming up next. Sisters turn 3 start with a couple of acts of faith. Spirit of the Martyr was successful on the Candace, and she rolled a 4, bringing back 2 wounds to go up to 4. And then these girls right here needed 2 in order to move out briskly an extra 3 inches, so that's what they did. So pretty successful there. Both the priest and the Candace have withdrawn back into this rhino. That remains still while this rhino has moved up. That Penitent Engine has stayed put. All my sisters in combat have stayed put. As you can see, I have moved the big squad up towards these wraiths, and I've moved the squad with the combi bolters around as well. Exorcist has stayed put. These vehicles over here have stayed put, but I have taken the sisters out so they can do some fun things as well. So a lot depends on how this round goes. Lastly, Seraphim came in 9 inches away from the wraiths. I was trying to put him back there. It just wasn't going to work out. So we're trying to be a little bit patient here versus the Necrons. I know that's not normally the way to win, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. So we're going to go into our shooting phase to see what we can do. Correction, before we go into the shooting phase, I am going to use a fun stratagem, and that's going to be Burning Descent. So these girls who just came in, Simon, are going to be shooting at the wraiths. That costs 1 command point, so I'm down to 5. This happens in the shooting phase. And just to update you before we go on the shooting phase, Burning Descent managed to take off 2 wounds off one of those kinetic wraiths. Rolling 3 wounds, and Simon failed 2 of his 3-up saves. That's how you kill wraiths, just keep throwing shots at them. So let's keep doing that. Okay, mixed round for Sisters in 3, starting out here with the right. The Immolators Flamers along with the Penitent Engine Flamers managed to do in all 3 of those bikes. So the girls with the Stormbolters didn't manage to do anything. While the combined fire of all these sisters on the ground here who now control the center of the board managed to take out the Wraiths. The 2 Stormbolters didn't manage to do anything against those Necrons, but the Flamer managed to take out 4, which I feel pretty good about. While Pistols over here did manage to kill 1 of the Immortals. The Exorcist rolled a 2 in order to see how many shots I got. I re-rolled that with a command roll, so I'm down to 4. Rolling a 5, hit 4 times, wounded only once. Simon failed his 5 up, but when I rolled to see, he played Quantum Deflection as well. So when I rolled to see how many wounds, I rolled a 6, which means Simon automatically passed it. So the Exorcists have been a huge, huge disappointment. It's just bad die rolling, not that they're bad units, because they're great. I feel pretty good though, relatively speaking here. So we're gonna go into the charge and fight phase next. See what more we can do to further our cause. Okay, in the charge and fight phase, Simon did 2 wounds to the Rhino as it charged into the Necrons, but that did allow the Penitent Engine to get in unscathed. That was the only charges that I made. So I start with the Penitent Engine, attacking twice. He managed to kill,
I think
5 more, and then the Rhino hit and wounded, but Simon made that save. And over on the right, those girls didn't do anything. In return, Simon, what did your folks do?
In return, I killed here Dead Immortals 2 sisters here.
Yep.
Dead Immortals, there's 2 sisters here. Are sneaky enough to remove that one because that Lord can't swing anymore.
Yeah, so it's more than an inch away, and since the Lord didn't charge, he can't activate if there's no enemy models within 1 inch. So.
And obviously, Necrons making 1 wound on them, failing his armor save, but then he makes the Feel No Pain. So
yes,
that was quite crucial for you.
Yes, it was. So you will be rolling now to see morale.
I lost here 7 guys.
Okay.
I need a 3 or worse. It's a 1. It's perfect for me.
Okay.
Everything else is stable.
And I don't need any morale checks. I do score recon with people in every quarter of the board. And I also control at least 1 objective. And I finally killed at least 1 unit. Actually killed 2. So I feel pretty good about that. Simon, your turn 3. Going into it, the score is you 8. My Sisters of Battle 7. Alright, starts Simon's turn. He's going to go through his reanimation protocols.
So I'm not in 3 inches of that Immortal squad anymore, so yeah. It is on a 5 up. And we get him back.
Hooray!
I love it.
Good news, everybody!
Good news for the sisters, isn't it? Okay, here's on a 4+, so we have here 9 dice to swing to roll. Which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think, huh?
You got more than that.
More, even that.
3, 6, 7.
7 are back.
No,
so
it's only 7. Yeah.
Just 7.
Good news, everybody. 7 out of 9.
Are back.
Simon thinks it's so funny. All right, let's go ahead and roll over these guys, and you can throw those guys out.
Okay. Here, need a 5 up.
Oh, you got more than 1 missing from that squad. 3,
3,
5, 7. You got 3 missing.
5 up. Making 1 more.
All right. Well, at least that one was statistically average. Okay, and then your my will be done and
Exactly, my will be done. Is going from here to them, obviously,
okay.
And from him to them. From him to them, yes.
All right, sounds good. So we'll be back after Simon's movement phase next, after he puts all these Necrons back on the board.
Okay, guys, movement to Necrons Turn 3 is done. I set up the models, obviously. I disengaged here from combat. They stay there put. I will probably manage to finish it off. I moved an Overlord quite near here that he can charge without penalties. Flyer moved over here. The Warlord on the barge just switched over here, and we are keeping our defensive line for now. And I'm not gonna choose to go to the psychic phase. I'm going to the
Can't choose to skip over the psychic phase. We got
stop. And unfortunately, the repair thingy couldn't resurrect one more on a 4+. So
nope.
Yeah.
All right, you'll just have to settle for the 7 you got. Okay, on to your shooting phase next. All right, Simon, tell us about your turn 3 shooting phase.
This was quite crazy. I don't remember all the how it was going through exactly, but I threw so many shots at this penitent angel with the 1 wound. So many shots. And he managed to save it with his armor saves or with his feel no pains. And then in the end, that Gauss cannon finally killed him with making 2 damage, and he made again, and I saw again the 5, and I was hoping not again of another 5, but then it finally was done. So
yeah, I actually rolled did 2 damage, right? It's a 2 damage weapon. I rolled a 6 for my Shield of Faith before I checked in. I don't have Shield of Faith on them, so that was really bumming Simon out. He was really good at.
And we actually said we should have recorded that one. That was really hilarious.
Yeah, just all game he's been doing that. So
yeah, then the Tesla cannon of this guy was also the shooting doing nothing. The voltaic staff destroyed the already hard-hidden Rhino over there. Did resurrect Arc. I think it's how many wounds? 5 wounds.
I did 8 wounds to it because 2 went through.
Yeah, 8 wounds to that Exorcist.
Just got 4 remaining.
Yeah, and that guy was just stripping off, I think, 5 wounds.
5 wounds off the Rhino.
Yeah, making 1 hit, 1 shot, 1 hit, 1 wound, and then yes, damage roll 5.
All right, let's go to charge and fight phase.
Yes, charge and fight phase. So guys, this is Necron Turn 3 assault phase. Necron Lord, I think, just managed to kill 1 of the babes there. I was swinging with the squad, 7 hits, because of my will be done 2+, so 6 hits, making 6 wounds. Michael saves 5 out of 6, so the squad is still over there, which is not so pleasant from my standards. And I think in return you killed your 1?
No.
No, but you killed here 1.
I did kill 1 over there.
And there I killed 1, so that's everything for the fight phase. As for points, I'm leading 12 to 7.
Yeah, so you killed 2 units, which was my Penitent Engine and my Rhino. I killed 2 units, which were your Wraiths and your Bikes. So that was a wash, so you get 1 point for that. And then as far as holding objectives, we still each control 2, as it's been since the beginning of the game. But you did get 2 more points for Big Game Hunter, so you are now winning 12 to 7, going into Sisters turn 4. Feel pretty good?
Yes.
I don't know what that guy can do, but we're going to try. Sisters turn 4. Movement, we started out by advancing the Immolator 1 extra inch for 11. He's starting to come around the corner while the Bolter Girl's here. Holding objective 1 with the Penitent Engine providing overwatch. Those girls remain in combat while the 1 girl that was remaining over here on the left has jumped in the Rhino. And then the Rhino is moved within 1 inch of both those units. It has 5 health remaining. I did use an Act of Faith to move the sail from an extra 3 inches for 15. And an Act of Faith Spear the Martyr to bring 1 extra girl back here. So it's back to 8. And both those units moved up. And the Canoness and the Priest both hopped out of the Rhino before it moved, obviously, and are coming around the corner when they come. These girls have moved up to the center as these girls advanced here on the left for 3 inches for a total of 9. Objective 4, my priority objective, is being held down by the Canoness, 3 girls, and of course the Exorcist. So, exciting times for the Sisters of Battle. Let's go straight on to the shooting phase next. Alright, the Sisters of Battle are slowly crawling their way back into this game. It started with another Act of Faith, this time Divine Guidance, which gave them +1 to hit, and I'm glad I did it. It took a command point to reroll in order to get that 4 up, but it worked out. And they managed to destroy 5 of those guys, mostly with the Infernus pistols, but the regular pistols did some work too. At that point, the Exorcist, which had been failing me, I switched targets for him. He rolled it. Managed to kill 4 remaining guys there, thankfully. And then that allowed the squad to open up, and we have killed a total of 7 Necrons. The Canonist did help there as well. So, destroyed 1 squad. Well, pistols over here managed to kill 1 as well. It wasn't the plasma pistol again, though. So, managed to destroy 1 squad. I think we're on our way to destroy a 2nd squad as we go into the charge and fight phase next. Okay, we had a couple successful charges, starting with the Seraphim, and then the Canoness charged into the Necrons that were there. The Canoness swinging first killed 2, and then the Seraphim, Sister Superior actually, with her power sword, who is now off her base because she broke off, killed the final 2, which was pretty fantastic. The Rhino did 3 attacks but didn't hit with anything, so neither did the Sisters when they attacked the Necrons. The Necrons attacked back, killing 2 Sisters. It was the Necron Overlord that did that. So, unfortunately for Simon, the Necron Immortals were not able to take down the Sister Superior. She made 2 armor saves against them, and her leadership, of course, is 8, so she will remain steady. As far as scoring, I control at least 1 objective. I get recon for the 3rd time in this game, which has been key, and I killed at least 1 unit. In addition, I control Simon's priority objective back here with the Seraphim. I got more units in there. So that was an additional point. So I get 4 points this turn. The score is now Simon 12, my Sisters of Battle 11, as we go to Simon's turn 4 next.
Okay.
Consolidated turn 4 for Simon. Take us through, buddy.
Okay, I just moved up over with the guys which were standing here, the Cryptek and that guy. Over here, stayed put. I disengaged this one out of close combat because my idea was if I killed that squad quite fast, I can use Gauss Cannon or the
Doomsday
Cannon to destroy that thing. Obviously, it didn't happen. As I said, I killed in the shooting with the Gauss, almost everything was killed with that one, but here also I finished off with that one, I think, the rest of the squad. So yeah, and the other shooting didn't do a lot. The heavy singularity thing, I think you saved everything there.
I finally made a 5-up. You only wounded once out of the 4 shots that you hit with. You wounded once, and I finally made my 5-up with my Canoness there. Her indomitable belief.
Yes, and then a Doomsday Cannon 1-shot, and then he
failed the wound.
Failed the wound. Yes, that was a big hit. That's why actually I disengaged these guys, because then I would get a 3rd unit destroyed, which would give me an advantage, plus possibly a 2nd one if the disembark thing would fail.
As it ends, though, you score 1 point for holding objective number 2.
3.
Also hold number 3, so we're going to be tied on objectives. You score 1 point for killing a unit, but we both killed 2 units. So you get a 3rd point for Big Game Hunter, having destroyed, marked for death, the Seraphim unit. So the score is going to be 15-11 going into turn 5 for the Sisters of Battle. Just hanging in there. That's what we're doing. We're hanging in there. Okay, at the start of Sisters turn 5, the Canoness over there has scored behind enemy lines for the first time in this game for me. So we're going to add that at the end of the round, but I did want to point out that I am now within 12 inches of Simon's board edge, in his deployment zone, more importantly, at the start of the turn. So back after the Sisters turn 5 consolidated. Fairly successful turn 5 for the Sisters of Battle. Start out with moving my Sisters up towards this priority objective there, to include the Seraphim and the Priest and the Canoness. While on the right, I had advanced my Immolator 6 inches, so total 18. Well, these guys have stayed put in order to secure the objective, and these guys over here stayed put. After that, used an Act of Faith, Divine Guidance, and Stratagem, Bless Bolters. So I have no faith left, and I have 1 command point left to shoot up at the, what is that thing called? Ghost Ark. I did 2 wounds with regular bolters, I think. But
yeah, that was everything.
between shooting all these units, to include the Exorcist, which finally came through with some wounds on the vehicle, I did take a charge of the Seraphim and eventually the Canoness to bring it down. So that was great news. With that, nothing over here on the right really happened. So as far as points, I control at least one objective. I've killed at least 1 unit. I get recon for the 4th and final time. Simon, am I within 3 inches of objective number 3?
Yes. Wait, when we measure like that, not. When you measure like that, yes. So this is a little bit tricky.
It goes from the edge of the base in ITC, so which is your best guess?
When this is here,
Uh-huh.
and we're going straight up here, then it's here, then you're not in.
Okay, that's fine. But I still get 5 points. So I'm up 16 to 15 now with Simon's turn 5 coming up next. One last thing, Simon. I do owe you a morale check for the Seraphim. They have lost a total of 3. I've rolled a 3, so that's under their leadership. So now on to your turn. Sorry about that.
Okay, guys, this is Necrons Turn 5 or 4? 5.
5.
A wrap up around. Okay, as I said, I moved up these guys. My will be done from the overload was taken on them. They were shooting 20 shots of Tesla carabines and making out of that no misses at all, hitting on 2s with no rerolls of 1. Plus a lot of Tesla, because my will be done gives you +1, so Tesla's triggering already on a 5s and 6s. So the whole Seraphim squad vanished over here. Some shooting to the cannons from that Tesla cannon over here didn't do nothing. The voltaic staff killed that priest. And yeah, this guy didn't do nothing to neither the Exorcist and neither the Rhino. And yes, so the Tesla Destructor took, I think, 2 wounds, 1 wound out, so he's down to 3 wounds.
You said it was 2 wounds each for damage?
No, 1 wound. So he had, but
okay, yeah, he's down to 3. So okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's right.
And then the Ghost Arc just removed that immolator for another point.
Yeah, like 6 hits, 5 damage, or 5 wounds. I saved 1, but not enough. The priest survived inside though, so that's good news. Okay, Simon, you control at least 1 objective for a point. You killed more units for 2 points, and then you gained Headhunter for the priest. You gained Big Game Hunter for this Exorcist over here, not Exorcist, Immolator, and then you gained another point for Mark for Death for the Seraphim. So that was a total of 6 points. I get an extra point due to the fact that I control more objectives at the end of the turn, being 1 and 2 compared to your 1. So score is going to be 21-17 going into the last round. Very tight game. Okay, not much left for the sisters to do other than to move this priest back, and now he's being protected by these battle sisters here, and then move the Penitent Engine just to make sure I have 1. Move this Rhino out of combat. Move these girls up, gave them Blessed Bolts. Blessed Bolts has done nothing at all for me, as they don't even do a wound to Simon there. These girls advance up to take objective number 3, which is the bonus objective. And then the Candace is hiding back behind there. Exorcist did 5 shots up at this flying monstrosity, but didn't do any damage, and really I didn't shoot anything else because it's not going to make a difference at this point. I do gain 3 points there, so the score is 21-19. Simon, let's finish this off to see how many points you can get.
Okay.
All right, Simon, why don't you take us through the end of the game?
Okay, so it was
Certain stuff happened.
It's pretty straightforward. I just moved up here, moved with him up, they moved up, my will be done on them. Then shooting that guy with the low profile couldn't kill that Penitent engine, unfortunately, having 2 wounds, just stripping off 1. But then the Exorcist got finally blown off the table, and yeah, then the whole combined shooting of these guys plus the command barge annihilated that squad. Then also here some shooting came over here, also killing some sisters over there. Trinidad Destructor just managed to get off 1 wound off the cannons on a 3+ with I think 6 wounds I made, huh?
Yes, you did. You made 6.
Yeah, so just 1 wound there. And yes, then my Necron charged, the Overlord charged here at Rhino, killed it, the Rhino explode, took 3 wounds out of the guy and 1 immortal, so that's everything for now.
Do owe you a morale check here. 4 + 5 is 9, so that'll lose an additional girl, but the Sergeant, the Sister Superior, stands strong. Okay, so with the score, you control 1 objective for a point.
Mm-hmm.
You killed a unit for a point. You killed more units than I did for another point. But I control 2 objectives to the one that you control. So I got a point there. So the final score, when you add in, you got 1 last big game hunter. It's going to be 25-20 favor of the Necrons. So very good game. We'll come back with a post-game wrap-up next.
All right, Simon, we're back, and we have to be chipper because we've just been getting a lot of comments lately that our post-battle reports seem awfully intense. Like we're going to start throwing punches at each other, which is not the case. We just have really, really good tight battles.
Yes, and we are discussing things in a friendly way. I mean, it's not that we are getting intense to each other, that we are going in a way, but it's the way we sometimes talk, and it's just us.
You take that back right now. I just came to the realization why a lot of channels don't do the post-game battle wrap-up, and that's because you're tired afterwards.
Yes.
You're always tired after a game of 40k, or you usually are, especially as, intense competitive games that we tend to play. And you add to that just the extra time and energy it takes to make a battle report.
Exactly.
So, it might normally be a 2-hour game of 40k is normally a 4-hour game once you start filming this stuff. So that's another thing we got going for us. But let's talk about the actual Sisters of Battle right now.
It's your second game?
Yeah, second game. Mechanized list. I thought rehabilitating 2 Exorcists and putting them in the list were really going to help me out. Now, Necrons do have a natural counter with Quantum Shielding, but with the potential amount of dice that you can throw, and then hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s like I had with my canvas back there, and then wounding on 3s, you're normally going to get a big spread of dice. And I was doing the math hammer, and I was killing a Necron vehicle per turn with all 3 of them focused, so with relative ease, with Quantum Shielding and everything else. But for the first 2 rounds, they barely scratched the paint on anything.
Yes.
And what my army was waiting to happen, because your vehicles have a lot of the power in your army, I was waiting to kill some of those to bring things like Seraphim in. And I just never could kill them until the very end. I finally got 1 vehicle down, but that's really where my battle plan fell apart. I think the mission kind of favored you in some ways. You really never got out of your deployment zone after the second turn when I killed your wraiths and I killed your bikes. Everything else was on your third of the field.
Yes.
The whole time. This is the only mission in ITC where you essentially have 2 objectives in each deployment zone.
Mm-hmm.
Every other mission, there's some in the middle, and I felt like I did a good job controlling the middle. Now, you would have played differently, obviously, but I think what happened was me not killing a unit in either the first or second turn allowed you just to sit back, and you're getting the bonus points for that every turn, and we were tying on objectives. You were really in the driving seat from the get-go.
Yes.
And The only other thing I'll add is I think I did a good job with the mechanized portion of the force, the Bloody Rose, tying your Necrons up in combat so they weren't so effective at shooting, but unfortunately I wasn't able to follow that up with anything. So in the end, I think you played really well, and you certainly deserved that victory. Not killing units, I just want to add, I know the secret to beating Necrons is defeating the units, and focusing down units. I tried to do that. Obviously I wasn't splitting fire over 7 different units. I was trying to kill off those units so they couldn't reanimate. You had very good reanimation rolls. Sometimes it just doesn't happen,
Yes.
I used Blessed Bolts 4 times in this game. I never did a wound with Blessed Bolts. Never did a wound. And those are the things that can kind of definitely hurt you when you're trying to win.
Exactly. So as you may have pointed out already, killing Necron units is the key to victory, and killing all, or trying to force some moral checks, because these guys who are fleeing are not counting towards your reanimation protocols, which hampers you actually.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough prospect though.
Yeah.
With Leadership 10.
Yes, Leadership 10 is quite good for the Necrons. All in all, I also wouldn't say I mean I had the advantage of the, as you said already, with the mission. I could stay in my deployment zone. This is what Necrons actually do like. Not moving a lot, shooting, stuff like that. Well, my troop units did what they did, tying up things, sometimes shooting if possibly, and then after I could get rid of your Sisters and your Rhino, then they started up to shoot, particularly the Tesla Immortals, killing essentially 1 squad at least per round. And
they had a lot of help in turn 6, but they took the Seraphim down by themselves.
Yes.
I think they only killed 4 of the actual Battle Sisters, and they had some help after that on turn 6. But yeah, once they were unleashed, that certainly made a difference.
Yes, and the thing is actually, yeah, big guns, my firepower is actually what does or what did in that particular game today the work for me. I mean, I was actually that you came with the Mechanist list. I didn't think you will come with a Necrons list. I was actually thinking you will come with a similar list, which you did before.
Yeah.
But it actually helped me out because I saw the amount of vehicles. Then Mark for Death also was quite handy for me. So there's where I made my points, and that you couldn't scratch the paint of them in the first 2 rounds.
And then they grew their paint back after that.
Yeah, and they grew the paint back. So yeah, that really helped me out. I mean, obviously you had the advantage at the beginning. You had 3 dedicated anti-tank vehicles, and I just had 2.
Mm-hmm.
And
one of them only has 8 wounds. Right?
Yes. The Terrasec Arc has 10 wounds.
10 wounds, and I took 2 off it.
Yes. And Doomsday Arc also has, I think, 10 wounds. Ghost Arc has 12 or 14 wounds.
Yeah, so I think I definitely had the advantage there. You had a little bit of range advantage for the Doomsday Arc, but I was willing to concede that in order to get the reroll ones to hit next to the Canonist in that firebase.
And the Nitride Bomber, I liked him. Okay, Michael, I have to say, Michael granted me that favor, or that tactical error, because he could just drop over there.
I wasn't going to bring this up, but when he flew into the corner in turn 1, and I had 18 Seraphim in Deep Strike Reserve, it would have been, we measured it out and everything, it would have been very easy for me to have deep struck them in and just blocked out any place that Simon could have flown. And since it didn't have hover, he would have had to flown off the board and been destroyed.
Yeah, so thanks for that. I also think that Nitro Shot Bomber is a good unit. I mean, you pay 180 points for him, he's sturdy. -1 to hit, toughness 7, 14 wounds, living metal. Unfortunately not quantum shielding, that will be I think over the top then for that vehicle or that flyer. Yeah, once you drop your payload, then yeah, you have that twin Tesla Destructor Cannons, which are also with Mefrit when you are in range with for the AP are doing some work. So he was just flying around, zipping around, and putting there some wounds, supporting the game or supporting my army that way.
Yep. He almost had a chance to earn you another point at the end of the game by killing the Canonist, but wasn't quite able to get it done. But one of the things about flyers is they can character snipe because they can get to places where maybe your opponent's not thinking about them getting.
Exactly. And Method with the Kata command barge is a very good option for leader. He's also sturdy. You can hide him, he can fierce fly, and with the voltaic staff and Merciless Tyrant you can you have 30-inch Tesla cannons plus the voltaic staff where you can snipe characters. I mean that's hilarious. So he also generated a lot of points for me. So I like him. The Overlord, I don't know. I mean, he's a good boy. Yeah, he's doing what he's doing, supporting with my will be done and stuff like that. But to deliver him into the combat is always quite a problem. And I love the Void Scythe. It's a very good thing. But the -1 to hit is a little bit hampered.
Now there's a relic that you can get without the -1 to hit.
Yes, it will be the Void Reaper or something.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of characters suffer from that if you're running Power Fist or Thunder Hammers or things like that. So.
Yeah, but he's still
the multiple damage for the weapon is what makes it really good.
Yeah, so he's doing 3 flat damage, strength 8. Oh wait, I made a mistake. He's actually strength 5, so he should multiply 2, so he should be strength 10, so I should have wounded your Rhino enough.
3. So it's the same as you wounded my Rhino.
Okay.
I thought it was strength 8.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be a mistake in my favor. Looking at what cost me the game is I didn't kill anything. So in the first 2 rounds I got 0 points for killing units, and I never managed to kill more than you. So I have a potential 12 points. I only got 4, whereas you got 10 out of those 12. So a difference of 6 there, which is the difference in the game. And then recon worked out well for me. I think it's a decent list for recon. And then I got the Seraphim coming in, and I got the mechanized units that can push forward along with the Pantid engines. Big Game Hunter, we know what happened there when you don't kill anything. The Big Game Hunter and behind enemy lines was probably a little bit too aggressive, especially not realizing that you were going to play too defensively. I did manage to break through essentially the last 2 rounds, but at great cost. So I think we mostly tied on objectives except for the last 2 turns, and it was almost a kill point game.
Yes.
And you won on that one by killing more units.
And the thing is also I had 2 resurrection orbs, and I mean the way that you couldn't kill units, so I just used 1 resurrection orb for 35 points, because on the first reanimation protocols I was rolling quite good. So yeah, so I even had to use the second resurrection orb, which I also included in my list for exactly things when last battle report, like I was failing stuff like that one, that I can have a second chance to resurrect guys. So yeah, all in all I think we both didn't do any big tactical errors. One tactical error by my side was that I just have literally flown away my Tomb Blades. I should have not advanced them toward the engine over there. I should have flown with the Braves, giving some shots into the Priest and the Canoness, hopefully stripping their 1 or 2 wounds, and then with the rolls what happened over there, they would probably have finished off at least the Canoness. And
yeah, I think so.
And that was my tactical
And
error.
then you don't lose them to an Immolator Flamer and a Pantid Engine Flamers.
Exactly.
They get hit by 4 heavy Flamers, they were done.
Yes. So
I didn't even get the chance to use Blessed Bolts to no effect.
Yeah, but I mean the damage too doesn't help you a lot against my Necron Warriors and Immortals, but against the vehicles definitely. And I was actually scared about that one, over the Blast Bolts, because the 2 damage.
Yeah,
it adds up quite fast.
It's a great stratagem, but the fact that they're strength 4 also means it's really hit or miss.
Yes.
And I just was not wounded at all. I would throw 8 dice and need wound on 5s, and at -2 is probably going to go through just nothing over and over. So unfortunate, but those are how the dice fly sometimes.
Yes.
I think I lost this game early. I think I made a good match of it, but it was an uphill struggle after turn 1.
Yes, because you were not able to get out of my arcs of my big guns. that was your problem also, that you couldn't get rid of them.
Even then, I wasn't dying. It was that I couldn't get rid of them. I wasn't dying very quickly. You know, I was dying at a moderate rate that you would expect in 8th edition 40k. I just wasn't killing anything, and that's what cost me. And once that firepower ratio tipped into your balance, or to your side, that's what I couldn't recover. Although I tried hard too.
Yes.
So the girls did well.
Well, I totally agree. I mean, you played well, even though it was an uphill battle for you after turn 1. And yeah, essentially you lost battling turn 1.
You know what? That is interesting though. ITC missions, which we like a lot, we've been playing. There's a lot of other mission formats where after turn 1 and 2, like I had, you feel like there's nothing you can do. There's so much going on in the ITC mission formats that I always thought there was things I could do. And if you're playing in a tournament, so much of it is trying to maximize the points that you can get. And at the end of the day, I ended up with 20, which is, you know, not great, but it's respectable. And it's because I played the entire game through and fought for every point, and it was certainly giving me something besides a victory to work for. So I love these ITC missions. They're a lot of fun.
So you played your second game for the Sisters. So what is your opinion, particularly for maybe if GW watched this video too?
Yeah. So Faith is just kind of what it is. It's nice perks which are unreliable and feel really bad when you don't get them with that. If you need to roll a 2 or a 3, because they're such minor perks that they feel like, we discussed before, it's almost like guard orders. They should be freebies, but they're not. It should be like your Necrons, mine will be done, but it's not. You're having to roll these dice and it's making things difficult. The stratagems are good, but so much of this Codex, and I heard Mike Brandt talk about it on one of the Better 40k podcasts, which is Forged Narrative. And the way he describes it is it's a Codex that is built on getting the synergies to go off at the right time and just explode, right?
Yes.
And when those things don't happen, like, you know, I get my blessed bolts off and I get the Act of Faith, which lets me hits on 2s, and I'm within range of the cannons, and it's all these things that you have to work to make happen to get that explosion. But if that explosion doesn't go off because of the powder stamp or something, the rest of the army is not good enough to carry the Codex.
Yes.
And I don't like this design philosophy where, you know, if you get 6 things to come together, then you can wipe out a knight or something like that. I much prefer the more balanced units, which you know what their role is and they can perform those roles. And all these, I think we're just moving closer to, you know, these stratagems can take an average unit and just make them fantastic. I would just rather have good units and play that way. And I think the Sisters Codex is probably the grossest example of trying to get all these things to come together. It's almost like you're playing a different game system that I haven't played before.
Yes. Yes.
I hear like Malifaux or maybe one of those games is like that. And I don't care for the design as much.
Okay. So my 2 cents on the Necrons is they really appreciate the point decrease, because they actually the one army who really got a big favor in points decrease. So in that case, it helped the Necrons a lot. I mean, I can field much more bodies than before, which helps me with resurrection protocols, kicking more in, more chances, and so on and so on. But still, I feel Necrons are, I think the word that the community uses, the Necron bracket, is still a thing. The point reductions really help them, but still it's like, yeah, they are a solid mid-tier army, but that's everything.
Yeah, I mean, I look at them and I think they're pretty good, but that's just because I tend to see the positives in these types of things. But you know, I think the vehicles are really strong.
I don't say it. The vehicles are the really strong point of the Necrons, but everything else.
It goes back to what I was just saying about Sisters. Like if you manage to do the trick in the Codex, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And the trick for Necrons with their infantry is get them to survive, and then you do your reanimation protocols, and then you pop the power orb, which lets you do it again, and then you have a ghost arc, and you get to do it again.
Exactly. So this is the synergies that I'm talking about, which is quite good, but still, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't happen. Everything just kind of falls apart, right?
Yes. I think Necrons and Sisters are in the same spot, or a similar spot.
I'm working through my thoughts on some 40k stuff and some things where I think the game has gone to, and I love this game. Don't get me wrong, but certain things are starting to grate on me a little bit when it comes to these type of things.
I also don't want. I want also to mention that I don't want to see Necrons like in 7th edition with the crew. That was totally insane.
Yeah, I don't think it was insane. You go insane a lot. They were good, and especially when they were the only one to have a multi-formation detachment.
Of course, but when I recap going to the local GW, when I wanted to go with my Necrons for playing, it was hard to find an opponent. It was like the same with the Eldar.
Oh, I see. I think most of that was just by reputation by that time, because at the end of 7th, the things that were really bothering me were like 2-up rerollable invul saves, seer councils and whatever. I stopped playing. As you know, I was playing Mars Heresy. So, anyways, I think that's enough rambling for tonight. It was a fun game. It was a close game at 25-20.
And I would say yes, Necrons and Sisters are on the same level, and we saw it now today.
No, I think Sisters are better than Necrons, to be honest.
So?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Okay, we keep that.
But you played very well. You deserve to win, so I need to play better. Alright, thanks for joining us on the YouTube, the Warcore YouTube network. So if you haven't subscribed yet, think about doing that. We're getting a lot of new subscriptions. We appreciate all that, and make sure you leave a comment, because that's the most fun part of this whole process. Is hearing what you guys think.
It helps us a lot.
Yeah,
definitely a lot. So keep going, commenting, and yeah, hope to see you guys soon.
All right, good night.
Bye.
All right, we're off now. We fight, right? This is where we throw punches.
Yes.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.